Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball. Hope you guys are well. Yes, apologies for starting late. A bit of a technical issue on my part. Again, thank you to Rugby League Roundup, CJ Moxley, friends of Vids, as well as Sam Riddle for joining me. And again, apologies for the absolute stupid on my behalf. But again, welcome to one more chat. But it's a Magic Round edition, right? It's a special Magic Round. As we know, things are happening. Things are bubbling over there in Brisbane. Apparently, it's raining, and I hope it's not raining too much. But hey, if it is what it is. But again, welcome, guys. If you guys just want to have like a little greeting, I guess from Rugby League Roundup, CJ Moxley, pro ends of it, and then to Sam Riddle, introduce yourselves, and we'll get straight into it.
All right. I guess I'll go first. Yeah. I'm Rugby League Roundup, and I do YouTube. I've started about maybe approximately 7 months ago, and I'm on the rise, and I'm enjoying my uploading YouTube, and I'm having fun at the moment. So yeah, that's me, and I hope you guys can get to know me a lot more during this live stream. And yeah.
CJ Moxley.
Yeah, so everyone, my name's CJ Moxley, proud South Sydney Rabbitohs supporter. I do YouTube. Unfortunately, it's not consistent as it could be. I do have exams and stuff to do, but I do produce rugby league content like like all the other boys here. And yeah, I'm going to be back doing videos mostly about Rabbitohs, previews, reviews, stuff focused on that sort of content. So that's just me, and can't wait to be on the show tonight.
Yep, I'm Pro Enzo Vids.
Awesome, man. Over to you, Pro Enzo Vids.
Yeah, I'm Pro. Most people probably know who I am. Do rugby league content like do podcasts every week. Do Super League, all sorts of NRL content in general. So, look, definitely on the rise. Definitely getting close to that 2K goal. So I'm hoping I can get there by at least next month.
Howdy, everyone. It's Sam. I hope you're all doing really well. Don't let all those other men ages fool you. They're both really insightful young men. Please go and check out their channels and go subscribe to them and hold the ball. He's holding down the fort at the moment very well. He's doing great, and he's on the road to 1,000 subscribers as well. Please go and check out my YouTube channel. I do reviews and previews and some other little bits and skits as well. So, thank you all for joining us tonight.
Awesome, as thank you, fellas. And yes, guys, the way the format's going to go, a few topics between, but I intend that, guys, if you guys are ready, should we season? Over to you, Sam Riddle.
Should we be more aware of the threat the Dolphins pose for next season? I don't think that I can envision a world where Wayne Bennett coaches a wooden spoon side. I do like the forward pack that has formed up there thus far. And there was a signing today with Connolly Lemuelu, one of the Cowboys players that's been signed for the next 2 years from 2023. I don't discredit the forward pack, put it that way. They don't have a back line yet. I don't discredit the forward pack. And I don't obviously discredit Wayne Bennett. So I guess in essence, man, should we be more aware of the threat? I think we should probably give them a little bit more respect.
Awesome, as you, bro.
Sorry, who's this?
Sorry, over to you, Pro Endo.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Look, with the question being there, I think maybe with Wayne Bennett being there, since he's the coach and since he's known to be picking up sides in the past and doing really good things with them, I guess that's something we have to take into consideration when we think of threat. But I don't think they've signed a marquee player yet or enough big name signings. So until then, I don't think they really got the squad to be threatening to anyone as of now. But if they can land a Munster, for example, or someone like that, that's going to definitely help the squad a lot and definitely change quite a bit for the team Yeah, look, I just think that they're a little bit far away from still being a real threat, but they are getting there, I think. Yep.
Sorry, hold the ball, mate. We can't seem to hear you, mate. We can't hear you.
All right, sorry, CJ Moxley, over to you, man. Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for me, really, I don't think anyone shouldn't not be aware of a Wayne Bennett coach team. Like Sam said, with that forward pact, although they are aging, they are still experienced players who will come in handy in big games. And everyone's going to say, "Oh, where's the marquee signings?" They still have another year to go to enter the comp. So I think people just need to wait. They're not going to sign the whole competition. So any team under Wayne Bennett's bound to thrive. So I'm aware of the Dolphins. They've signed great players like Mark Nichols, Jermaine Azarko, so on and so forth, and they're going to sign even more better players. So I think it really comes down to Wayne Bennett's coaching. He can get the best out of any player, in my opinion. So there's a few players going from Melbourne to the Dolphins, so that's pretty scary when you think about it. So yeah, I'm very aware of the Dolphins.
Yep.
Up to you, bro.
Yep. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I think we should be aware of the threat the Dolphins have, because the coach Wayne Bennett himself has won multiple premierships for different clubs. Broncos, Dragons, etc. Yeah, and they've also signed some really decent players. They've got the Bromwich brothers from Melbourne, Thomas Gilbert, Mark Nichols, Jermaine Osako, Felice Kafusi. They're all really decent players. And yesterday, they've signed Robert Jennings, and today Connolly Lamelu. And don't forget, they have young players there too that they've got from different clubs, such as Jack Bostock and I think someone called Katoa, Isaiah Katoa. I think that's his name, and they're both really good young players, and they'll thrive under Wayne Bennett, that's for sure. So, yeah, I think they're definitely not going to win the wooden spoon, in my opinion. And to all the people that are saying they won't make the 8, well, they haven't finished their top 30 squad yet, and we haven't seen the finished top 30. So, as soon as the top 30 is finished, which I'm sure we'll see soon enough, because they've still got 6-7 months to go. As soon as we see that finished, then we can have a say on whether they'll make the 8 or not. But for now, I think we should just be aware that they still have a decent looking side at the moment.
The answer's there. Question number 2, guys. How significant was the trade getting in the way of Cleary's conversion? CJ Moxley.
I think people are split down the middle of this. For me, nothing. No, there was nothing for me. Obviously the trainer got in the way, but what impact did that really make? The only impact it would make if Cleary was kicking down, but it was kicking towards a goalpost. So for me, there's no impact in the game. There's no need for an investigation, in my opinion. So I think it's silly that it's even being talked about.
Yep. Over to you, Sam River. What are your thoughts on it?
I've never kicked a ball off a bloody goal-kicking tee in all my days, mate, so I wouldn't know what Nathan Cleary was experiencing. So if it was a distraction to him, let's try and hear and let's try and get Nathan Cleary to speak up about it and not have somebody else try and speak on his behalf. But I don't have a problem with it, much in the same vein as CJ does, bro.
Yeah. Wrap up. What's your views on it?
Yeah, no, there's no. It wasn't even that much of a problem, to be honest. As a goal kicker myself, I know that when you kick a ball, you focus on the goal and the ball. You don't focus on the people in front or people trying to distract you. Um, I'm not a main goal kicker, but I've kicked goals before, and that's not going to make a problem to what you're doing or kicking it, unless you're really focused on the person that's got in the way, which is quite stupid if they focused on the person that's got in the way, which I don't think Cleary did. He looked at the ball, so and that was the ball only, and he did not get distracted. So, yeah, the Panthers weren't robbed, and that's the end of the story.
Awesome as. And our pros and vids, what, bro?
Yeah, I'll just add on to what the other lads said. I don't think people should be reading too much into this. I think that, there's no real issue. I don't think the NRL needs to come and have their say on it. I think that that train running across the field or across the behind the goalpost doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, I just going to agree with everyone else's word on it.
Yep. Awesome as. And guys, question 3 before we head into a game. You're a newly signed NRL player, world at your foot, right? And literally, like any of the coaches here, you got Bellamy, Larry Fitzgibbon, Stewart, or Bennett, and why? Over to you, CJ Moxley.
Look, obviously, I want to choose Wayne Bennett, but I'm going to choose Craig Bellamy here because he gets the best out of these players no matter what. You go down to Melbourne, he's going to develop you into not only a good footy player, but he's going to mature you. He's going to make sure you're well on and off the field, mentally, physically. So for me, it's Craig Bellamy, man. Whenever you're down, he'll bring you back up. And for me, it's Craig Bellamy based on how he treats his players on and off the field.
Awesome as. I wrap up over to you, bro. Who would you select?
Yeah, I'd select Bellamy too, to be honest. Look, I was close to going Bennett when I was thinking about, but yeah, Bellamy just gets the edge for me because he treats his players with absolute respect, and you can see what plays they turn out to be. They turn out to be absolute gun players. Look at Nick Meaney in recent weeks. He has been absolutely on fire recently, and even Xavier Coates, Brandon Smith, Josh Adokar, that he's gotten out of in the past, gotten the best out of in the past. And look at the character that Josh Adokar is. He's even got his own merchandise brand, and he's such a character. And that's what Bellamy does. He signs good people, and he makes them even better players. So, yeah, I don't know what other people think, but yeah, I'm going Bellamy. I think that's just a clear decision for me if I was playing NRL.
Awesome as. And pros and vids, man. Over to you.
Yeah, it's a real toss-up for me. It's either Bellamy or Wayne Bennett, but yeah, I'll go a little bit different. I think Bennett because he's been around for a long time now. Obviously knows so much about the game. He's learned so much. There's obviously that proof that he's done very well for sides he's coached in the past. He's really helped a lot of players. Bellamy matures players as well, makes them a better people. But Bennett does the exact same, which is obviously to their credit what they can provide. So I would go Bennett. He's won heaps of comps. I can't remember the exact number since he's won so many. So it just goes to show you what kind of coach he really is and how much success he's achieved. So that's one guy I love to learn from.
Awesome as. And Sam Riverville, over to you. Your thoughts.
I'd go for Craig Bellamy, mate, just because he's been in the job. That's at Melbourne Storm all those years, man, and just every player that goes and plays underneath him becomes better or the best version of themselves. So I'd go Craig Bellamy.
Awesome as. All right, guys. So we have a game here called basically who your first picks. The game is that. So imagine, say, for example, we have the Broncos here, right? It's not about selecting players outside the Broncos. It's about who you would select first that is already available for the Broncos. For example, you can pick Adam Reynolds. You could say Payne Hart, whoever it is. But the point is, you select one player. Yeah. 2, 1. If you guys are lost, please feel free to ask me. All right. So the first team here are the Broncos. Sam Rivel, who would your first player be that you'll pick that's already in the Broncos? Who would your first draft selection be, basically?
I would have to go for Adam Reynolds, mate. I nearly picked another one, but I'd have to go Adam Reynolds, just knowing that one of those key spine positions has already been locked up by at times an elite level athlete in the form of Adam Reynolds. Yeah, I'd choose Adam Reynolds, man, for sure.
All right, over to you. Roundup, who would you select?
I'd select Payne Haas.
Sweet.
I think he's just a dominant forward. You know,
Yep.
only 21 years old. Oh, sorry, bro. 21 years of age. He's already a Blues representative, Australian representative, and by far the best forward in the game for the last 2 years. So yeah, that's why I've selected him.
Actually, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Rugby League Roundup here. I'm going to go with Payne Haas as well. He's still so young. He's already represented a lot of things. He's very consistent. He's also very mobile. So, that's a player that I'd like to select in my team. Someone young, someone who's going to give their effort, and someone who's going to give, 100% at anything they, do on that field. So for me, it's Payne Haas.
And our pro of it, who would you pick, man?
Yeah, Payne Haas as well, I think. Game-changing player. Clearly the best forward in the game, in my opinion. Look, he's 21 years old. He's got such potential in front of him. He's a player that I think every side sort of needs. And, he just dominates from the up front. Like, I love watching him play. He's someone that I think people, love to come to games and watch play because of his quality and how much he's done. He's already been amongst the Australian squad. He's always been selected for the Blues. So I think that's one guy I'd love to have in my team, just a weapon, basically.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. And for me, I would pick Haas as well, personally. This team here, very, very special. I mean, it may be obviously the answer, but it might not be. Who's the first dude? Who's the first player to pick in the Knights?
Who was that again?
Yeah, sorry. Prone play. Would you? Who would you pick for the Knights to play?
All right. Yeah, like you said, it's pretty obvious, but I'm not going. I'm going to go with Mitch Barnett. Actually, I think Barnett's a hard-working forward. I love a tough, hard-working forward that. Quietly to Warriors next year, so I'm not seeing how he goes there. So, I think Barnett's obviously someone I'd like to sort of pick for me. He's pretty underrated too. I'm surprised he hasn't even got a mention at all for State of Origin, which I find very, very interesting. But I do think he's someone that does a job and someone that you can always rely on to make the tackles, make the try-saving tackles, or whatever. So he's a hard-working player. He's always got a good work rate, so find it for me.
All right, round up.
Yeah, well, most people would go Ponga, but you know what? I'm going Dane Gagai. He's been one of the most consistent centres for the last couple of years. At the Rabbitohs, he was in really good form. He's played Origin, most known for his intercept tries. He's been really good for the Knights this year. He's proved to be really handy for him in some tough moments, even though they may not have won the game. He's been one of their best players. I think I think he's been arguably the top 3 for the Knights. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dane Gagai here.
Awesome, as Sam Rivel, over to you. Who would you pick?
I'd actually go Jaden Brayley. If we're going off of a full strength squad, I'd have to pick the captain first because at the moment this season so far, that's who the Newcastle Knights are missing the absolute most. Brayley, their hooker. So he'd be the first person I'd choose if I was the team selector for Newcastle.
Over to you, man. Who would you select?
Oh, for me, it's a bit of a big one, but I'm going to go Nari Tawala. I really, really like the spark he adds to the team. His attack, when you give him open ball, he's very dangerous. So, and he's still developing himself. So for me, it's Nari Tawala. He's just someone I really like and someone I'd build for my team.
Awesome, as. And guys, one more before we go back into the topics. I guess I'll let you start. CJ Moxley, who would you select first at the Storm?
There's a lot you could build around here in Melbourne, but for me, I'm going to have to go with a pretty obvious one. I'll go Cameron Munster. He has that leadership that he can provide to your team, and there's no surprise why the Dolphins are going after him. He's so technical with his footy, so just talented. So for me, it's Cameron Munster. Nothing else to say. He's just dominant 5'8", and it's a player that I'd like to build my team around.
Awesome, as. Pro Enzo Vids, over to you, man. Who would you select?
Yeah, I've got Pappenhausen. I think Pappenhausen's a quality fullback. Does a job, can break a game open when there's when the game's really tight and it's going to go either way. Pappenhausen's someone that I believe can get you the wins, can kick you field goals, can make line breaks out of nowhere too. So I'd love to have a player that just knows how to open the game and is all quality. So I'd go Pappy. He's having a great 2022 season too.
Awesome, as. Sam Rivel, over to you. Who would you select?
If I'm getting ready to play a game, mate, and I'm getting changed in them bloody dressing sheds, and I look across the room and I see Justin Olam, who's getting kitted up to play with me. He's first in my team every single week, man. Just the energy and his presence, bro. I'd have him selected every week, man.
Awesome, as. And round up, over to you. Who would you select?
Yeah, well, I was gonna go with a halfback, but I ended up going with Cameron Munster as I was thinking about it, only because Munster is such an amazing player. Even though past controversies have made him a bit unlikable to people, you can't say he's a bad player. He's a top player. He's been at the Storm for almost 10 years, and most of those years, he has been an absolute star for him. He's played Origin and even for Australia. So, yeah, well, that's pretty obvious. And the fact that there's more quality halfbacks than 5'8" had a factor in my decision to pick Cameron Munster too. So, yeah, Cameron Munster.
Awesome, as. Thank you for going to round two of the topics there. I might Pro Enzo Vids to kick us off. So we all know that Curry unfortunately is injured, and I think I think it's like 1 month. So how big of loss is Cameron Murray to the Rabbitohs, and does it affect or does it sway their season as we sort of head into the almost halfway point of the NRL season? Over to you, Pro Enzo Vids.
Well, it does, obviously. I think because a skipper for any club is going to be hard to take in, especially Murray as well being a lock. He's the one that makes the tackles and the one that, really controls or leads that middle of the field. So it's going to be tough losing him for a number of weeks. And I just want to say as well, I hope he recovers all right, because getting a neck injury or around the shoulder sort of area is obviously not a pretty injury. So, I think that him being gone for South is going to hurt them in many games. But luckily for them, they've got a bit of depth, so it's going to definitely affect them for a bit. Does it affect their season, though? I don't think so, but it will affect them in some big games against bigger clubs.
Yep, good point there. Round up, over to you. What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I think it's a huge loss. considering they have Latrell out as well, they're not having it easy at the moment. The Rabbitohs, though they did sign Cody Nicarimo, who I think, even though he's not big like Cameron Murray, if you put him on in the 50th or 60th minute in the middle in the lock area, or maybe somewhere just where he can get through the middle, he'd be good because he's fast. He creates a bit of attacking spark, but we just haven't seen that consistency from him. But yeah, I do think it's a big loss for the Rabbitohs, and hopefully it doesn't affect their season too much, which I don't think it will. I think they might win a couple of their next few games, and hopefully the Rabbitohs can stay in some form, even though their injury toll is quite big at the moment with a few players out.
Okay, awesome. And Sam Revel, your thoughts on it?
Mate, I think it's a pretty significant loss for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. They are one of the best running meter teams in all of the NRL, bro. And when you take out Cameron Murray from that forward pack, bro, they're going to lose a lot of go forward and post contact meters too, man. And I'm just trying to get the South Sydney Rabbitohs draw up and see how many more weeks until Latrell comes back, and you factor in Cameron Murray as well. So they've got the Warriors, Raiders, and the West Tigers. So it's kind of a favourable draw in that essence, but no game is an easy game in the NRL these days, man, especially considering how unpredictable 2022 has been so far. So yeah, I think it is a huge loss. Will it affect their season? This is with all due respect to you, CJ Moxley, and you already know this as well. I didn't have South Sydney Rabbitohs in the top 8 at the start of the year. So in a way, it won't affect their season, in my opinion.
Okay. CJ Moxley, what are your thoughts? Being a Rabbitohs fan.
I have a lot of thoughts, really. This is one that is a massive blow to us. Obviously, we've lost our fullback, and now we've lost our captain. And this is a part in the club where Cody Walker and players like that need to stand up and, have that discipline and take that mentoring role to another level. Does it affect our season? Coming from a fan standpoint, I don't think it affects it, but there are going to be periods throughout the next month where we're going to struggle, I think. But does it stop us from making finals or anything? I don't think so, but it is a big loss in, how we attack and, the leadership on the field. So, yeah, it's a pretty big loss, unfortunately.
Thank you again for your answers. Look, Sam Revel, I think I'll get you to lead it. Did Jerome Hughes have to apologise for his remarks about Mount Druitt and stuff, and which affected some of the Penrith players? I'm not sure if you guys are aware of what's happened there, but did he have to apologise? What are your thoughts on it? Did he have to? Did he not have to? Where do you stand on this?
Bro, I must apologise to you, Hold the Ball. I've not heard this story, mate. Can you tell me what was said, mate?
Okay, no. There was so Jerome Hughes had a bit of a drunken sort of a night out, I suppose, with the boys. I believe this was after they won the grand final. Just some context in it, he decided to throw negative words towards Mount Druitt. Some of the Panthers players obviously and said, well, basically, I don't appreciate it, but they used it as motivation for last year, and I think they're going to probably use it for motivation this week anyway. Where the question was, does Jerome Hughes have to apologize for that? And I guess, Samuel, what are your thoughts on that now that you have a bit of context to it?
Well, it happened a couple of seasons ago, so in a way, in my opinion, who gives a bloody bagger in a way? I mean, Viliami Kikau was singing the bloody glory, glory to South Sydney last year, and CJ still wants Kikau's blood for that, but I don't think Kikau's apologised for it too either. It's sort of, no, I don't think Jerome Hughes needs to apologise at all, man. I think this is just over the head sort of stuff, in one ear and out the other.
Awesome, as and I look, roundup over to you. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's a joke that if he has to apologize, to be honest, it's just a bit of banter in the end of the day, because this is used for rivalries. The media will make stories of it. Look, Jerome Hughes should not need to apologize for maybe doing a little gang sign about Mount Druitt, or saying something about Mount Druitt. I don't think he needs to apologise. Look, yeah, like also even Sam said Kickout was singing "Glory, Glory" to South Sydney, and that pissed me off. So even me, that even pissed me off a little bit, because the guy does not do what is expected of him, because he's a bit inconsistent, Kickout. So look, if Jerome Hughes is needs to apologise, then Kickout should apologise for that too. And look, it will be motivation for both for Panthers, as they used it last year and they ended up winning the preliminary final and went on to win the grand final. So yeah, look, this is going to be a really good weekend. Not just Magic Round, but this game of the rounds. I'll be live streaming it, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be an enjoyable one.
Awesome, as. And look, CJ Moxley, what are your thoughts on it, bro?
No, he does not need to apologize one bit. Look, yeah, I can understand where Penrith players do get offended. It's their roots after all, but every team will do this in a massive game like this. Example, Kick-Out singing "Glory, Glory." I'm mad over it, but it was last season. What can you do? This happened 2 years ago. No, he does not need to apologize. It was to get under their skins, to put pressure on them, make them mad. And, well, it worked. Motivated them, and they went on to win the comp. But I don't think he needs to apologize for it. It's not as deep as it goes.
Yep.
Awesome, as. Pros of it, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, it's not a big deal, really. This happened right after the grand final. I'm guessing after 2020. So 2 years ago, wouldn't really worry about it too much. I mean, maybe this has been brought up now by other people because of the game this weekend, just to hype it up a little bit. I don't know why, but look, it's a big deal, big deal.
Awesome, as. And yes, we have this question here. We all know this growing stronger, this fortress known as the Dolphins. I think I'll let Sam Revel have a thought on this, have a bit of a yarn. But Connolly Lemuelu has now signed with the Dolphins officially for next year. What are your thoughts on it, man? Being a Cowboys fan in particular.
That's enough from the Dolphins. That's enough. But I've liked Lemuelu. It's just he's still so very young, and he really hasn't had a great opportunity to show what he's really capable of. So it's not a big loss in the grand scheme of things. Hold the ball, but it's always a bit weird, and you always wish one of those boys all the best, whatever club that you follow. So all the best to Lemuelu. I don't think it's a massive loss to North Queensland. I know Todd Payton was high on him for a bit, but it's not a massive loss. But all the best to Connolly Lemuelu, man.
That's nicely said there. So your thoughts on
Go, Billy.
He said my name. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear it. Sorry. Yeah. I don't mind this signing. Look, he hasn't had a great form in the NRL, and he hasn't had his opportunity. He's still young. He's only 20 games into his career, so that's not even a full season of first grade yet. Yeah, I don't have too much to say on it, to be honest, because he's not been proven into the NRL yet. Obviously, he's talented from things I've heard about him, but I haven't seen it. Hopefully, Bennett can get the best out of him, because that's what he does to a lot of players, and I'm looking forward to seeing this, because it's going to be very interesting in what happens, and the progress of this young kid at the Dolphins will be interesting as well. So, yeah, I don't mind this signing. I'll give it maybe a 5.5 out of 10 in my opinion.
Awesome, as thank you. CJ Moxley, bro, over to you. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, obviously he's only played 21 NRL games for the Cowboys, still developing, and I think he's chosen the perfect club to go develop his game. Under a franchise club, under top coach. So it's a good signing for the Dolphins, and I think it's going to benefit Connolly even more than anything. He's going to get more game time. I presume he's going to develop under Wayne Bennett. He gets to show his potential at a new franchise club. So, yeah, good on him, and I hope he does well there as well. So it's a good signing for me.
Awesome, as in pro ends of.
Yeah, it's a hard one for me because I want to try to keep this as nice as I can, but I've never really rated Lemelu before. I've always thought he's a bit of a journeyman player because he's been at the Tigers, the Dogs, a couple of other clubs too before that. So he hasn't really nailed down an actual club or an actual position yet. So at the Dolphins, yeah, better opportunity there. Gets Wayne Bennett as his coach, so maybe that can help progress his game and become more of a player that can definitely find his feet at an actual club. But yeah, look, he's already tried playing the centres. He's tried to play back row. Who knows what his best position is? So maybe Wayne can fix that too. I don't know, but it is an interesting signing for sure.
Awesome, as no, thanks for that. So, guys, we know game 2 is called Who Would You Rather. I have a few options here for you guys to select from for either player. Give me your reasons why, right? Basically, so in saying that, we'll have first here. We have Dylan Brown and the halves battle, right? So, who would you guys select? Brown Moses or Luai and Cleary? Over to you, CJ Moxley.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go past Luai and Cleary. They've perfect halves combination. They've been doing it at Penrith, at New South Wales Blues. So, they have that combination. And I believe they have about a 93% win rate together. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But, they're the dominant halves over the past few years. And, you match them to Munster and Hughes, players like those. Brown and Moses, although they are a good halves combination, they do have their off day sometimes. With Luai and Cleary, it just seems like, they have their days, perfect days every game. So for me, I'm going for Luai and Cleary.
Awesome, as Sam Ribble, over to you. What are your thoughts?
Got to go that Penrith connection, bro. Luai and Cleary. Yeah, the premiership winners, mate. Luai and Cleary.
Awesome, as round up, over to you, man. What are your thoughts?
Yep. Well, like the other two said, Luai and Cleary for me. Well, they grew up playing footy together, and so did most of their team. So their combination is on fire right now. It's been on fire for the past 24 months. So yeah, it's hard to go past these two guys, and they're the Blues halves too. So they're basically just some of the best halves in the game, and the best halves combination in the game. They're very much up there, and I think they're better than Moses and Brown in my opinion.
Awesome, as and Perns over.
Yeah, Luai and Cleary, it's really a no-brainer, to be honest. I think it's pretty easy to pick them two. Both won comps together, both won a State of Origin series, and have both played together in the State of Origin series too. So, yeah, Luai and Cleary, pretty easy.
Awesome, as we have this one here. Who would you guys select? All right, it's just popping up on the screen now. Give it 2 seconds. There we go. Olakautu Schuster or Capel and Rookie. And I'll let Pro Enzo have a bit of a think about this one here. Over to you, Roundup. Who would you pick in this second row combo?
For me, it's going to go to Olakau'atu and Schuster. You look at Schuster, he's usually a half and grew up playing in the halves, but big enough to play in the second row. And you've seen his skills there. A couple of weeks ago against the Rabbitohs, he produced some beautiful, beautiful passes, and he didn't even look at the player, which is quite funny, and that's just freakish in my opinion. And then you've got Olakau'atu who runs at you, and if he was running at me, I'd be running back home. He's big. He makes good meters. He's hard ball runner, and he's even hard to tackle. And he also has those basketball skills when he goes up and catches the ball. Apparently, a few times he's gone up and catched a few bombs from DC or Kieran Foran and scored off it. So, yeah, I'd be scared of both those players. They're both very freaky.
Awesome as Sam Rebel, your thoughts on this one?
Oh, bro, not even a doubt, bro. Olakau'atu and Schuster. Olakau'atu's been one of the better second rowers in the competition for 18 months now, man. And Josh Schuster, bro, he was out for the first, 6 rounds of the competition and then came back against South Sydney up there at the Central Coast and absolutely made an impact without even showing any signs of rust. So Olakau'atu and Schuster for me, man.
Awesome as and CJ Moxley, over to you, bro.
Yeah, so obviously I've had to turn my camera off. It's bugging out. But for me, it's going to be Olakau'atu and Schuster. Very dynamic, very really good impact players. Both can be deemed smokies for Origin. So for me, it's going to have to be Olakau'atu and Schuster. I think they just make more impact on the game than Capewell and Ricky would.
Awesome as and look, Pronzo Vids, what are your thoughts, bro?
Well, hold the ball. I don't know if you know this, but did you know that Schuster's legally blind? Schuster's actually the first legally blind man to play the game. Don't know if you knew that.
No.
I'm only joking. For me, it's probably quite an issue. So go back to the boys. Both are just dynamic young players, and I enjoy watching them play every week.
Awesome as look, I sort of saw Sam Rebel smiling there, then he saw what popped up next, and he wasn't smiling so much now. Dalmalolo or Finucane, over to you, CJ Moxley. Who was one for you?
Put me first, say, on this one. This is tough. Tamalalo and Finucane. Look, it's Sam, mate. I'm gonna go Finucane. He's been browsing that Melbourne Storm system. Consistent workhorse, he's just hard worker. Every team he goes to, whether it be Canterbury or Cronulla or Melbourne, he just shows that consistent leadership and he does everything right. He does what he has to do, and I think that factors in why his team's always succeeding. For me, it's Finucane, and Tamalalo comes close. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going Finucane.
Awesome as per Enzo Vids. What are your thoughts on this one, bro?
There's not much between the two players. I think both players are both great for their clubs and both probably some of the better forwards in the game, I think, as well. It's close, but I'll go for Finucane only just. I think Finucane's a real workhorse of a player. He's been involved in many grand finals, big games in the past, and I just, just his work ethic every week, because I think you know what you're going to get out of Finucane. He's a consistent player, and that's who I'd probably just pick, but it's close,
Awesome as and round up, over to you, bro. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go Jason Taumalolo. I think what a player. He makes meters for a living. He does it every week for fun. And even last week, that was an amazing performance. Even though he got disallowed 2 tries, which was quite unlucky. Last week's performance showed why he's one of the top 5, maybe even top 10 or top 5 locks in the game. I think, he's been there loyal to the Cowboys for so many years, and honoring not much people or not much players honor their contracts. and the goodness that Cowboys have done for him, and he's done for the Cowboys. And he's a fan favorite for the Cowboys, obviously, and I think he has a bigger impact on the Cowboys to what Finucane does for the Sharks. And I'm not saying Finucane doesn't have an impact, but I'm just saying that Taumalolo makes Cowboys much better, and that's why they've had such a good year, because that Taumalolo's had a good connection with the halves and even Scott Drinkwater. So, yeah, I reckon Taumalolo makes a huge impact, and I'm just saying that I think, more of an impact than Finucane. So, yeah, Taumalolo for me.
Last but not least, Sam Rivel. Give me your thoughts on this one, bro.
Well, you're absolutely knackered if you run at both of them, mate. But Taumalolo makes more post-contact meters than anybody else in the NRL so far in 2022. I think he offers up more in attack as well. He's done a lot of work in the off-season on his ball-playing skills as well, i.e., for example, his short ball out to Griffin Neame in that famous win over the Brisbane Broncos in round 3 earlier this year. I think while Finucane, I think, may be just a hair bit better of a defender, Taumalolo is a very good defender in his own right, nonetheless. I'd give the points to Taumalolo.
Awesome, as look, if I was to have my little say here, since you sort of look at it as two, I'll personally go just for the Cowboys. One thing as well I like about him is just he's got a lot of courage, like a big man, but he can back it up. You know, you see some players with big guys in the gym, they play league, and I don't know, it just doesn't equate. But Taumalolo is a big dude, and he's a strong dude as well. And I just like what he does overall. And I guess wrap-up is roundup. Sorry, touched. He's Cowboys. I think for fans in general, we all love seeing JT run on the ball. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful sight to see on there, guys. Round 3 topics is the last little bit here. So we got, the magic is here is what I've titled it, all right? And we're just going to go through our thoughts on this as we, get pumped up and are ready for the magic round ahead. With the first question here, and I guess I'll give this one here over to CJ Moxley, and why?
Yeah, it's important. It's the one game where all fan bases come together at a ground, and it's good for the game, both financially and for the fans. It's a great experience. I wish I could be up there this weekend, but I'm not. It's an amazing event to be at. It's really important because as I touched on earlier, all the fans are going to be there at the same ground, and it just creates an atmosphere like no other.
Sam.
Yeah, no worries, man. So as of about 4 hours ago, it was announced that Magic Round will stay in Brisbane in 2023. So for me personally, it is one of the better financial festivals and opportunities the NRL has every single year. I am disappointed in that news because I think it should have gone over to New Zealand for the weekend. That's my opinion anyway, considering how starved of rugby league that country has been. I think it's incredibly important, and it is actually a massive shame that it's not traveling over the ditch in 2023. But as far as just an extravaganza, you've got people from all over the country, even internationally, coming and convening all at this one beautiful stadium, which I've never attended to, mind you. It's important. It's a fantastic initiative, and it's here to stay. But I wish it didn't, put its sort of legs in the dirt sort of thing up there in Brisbane for 2023.
Yep. No, good point there. Good point. Roundup, what are your thoughts on it? How important is it and why?
I think it's important. You look at the last two years they've had it. You know, obviously in 2020 they didn't do it, but 2021 and 2019, it's just been enjoyable. Sorry. Other than the crackdown last year, I think the event would have been fine. And, you know, I think it's important not just for the fans, because the fans all rally together as one, you know, from maybe, say, St. George and Parramatta or Queensland and Melbourne. You know, you just see every colour jersey, every jersey from every team there. And, it's a good festival to go to, and also you can see how much it means to the players as well, because Nico Hines just asked to make jerseys for it. So, it's important to the players as well. They love it, and I think that Magic Round's been really good to get into the game, and should stay. And I think it's important. But also I think that maybe they should have moved out of Brisbane for maybe a year and go somewhere, say New Zealand, who need footy, and you know you've got Sydney. I think Melbourne would be a bit too hard to do considering all AFL is up there. So Sydney and New Zealand wouldn't be bad for a Magic Round either.
Yeah. Thanks for that, man. Prones of it, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I love Magic Round. You know, it's a very nice weekend of football. It brings a lot of the fan bases together. It's a good cause because I think it raises a lot of money and it goes to many different sort of places. So, you know, I like it. It's just a very creative sort of weekend of football. Yes, I wish I was going this year, but next year I'll try and organise it a bit more better and sort of set it up a bit earlier. But I love Magic Round. It's a great round of football. It must be great having like 40,000 fans there in total or something like that. So I like it, and I just want to say quickly as well. Yeah, all good. I'd move it outside of Brisbane too. I'd probably move it around Sydney to New Zealand. I just think New Zealand deserve a bit of football going back there, and a bit of something they deserve. So Magic Round to New Zealand would be the next destination for me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate those comments, actually. Look, we can see here, unfortunately, we all know the news that was also brought up by, I believe it was Abdo, like a few weeks ago. Because of the 17th team and the Dolphins, one team has to get cut out next year. Which unlucky team, in your opinion, and again, be as brief be as brief as you can be, which unlucky team misses out on the Magic Round? Over to you. Round up, sorry.
So good. So it's too tough because almost everyone has no clue who it's gonna be. But I don't know. Maybe Penrith or Storm. You know, just to make the games look a bit easier. Because Storm versus Titans, well, we all know who would win that. So Storm or Panthers, yeah, I think they might be, or they might push out a crap team, the team that's going bad at that time. So, yeah, look, it just depends on the NRL. No one has any idea. It's a bit too hard, but yeah, probably a top team or a bottom team. No, yeah.
I see misses out on Magic Round.
I'm not going to bash any club here, but I'm going to say the Gold Coast Titans. I think it really comes down to which team brings in the fans, and I believe the Titans do have the lowest membership count. Correct me if I am wrong. So I think either two things are going to happen. The team that wins the wooden spoon this year misses out, or a team with the lowest membership will miss out because they can't draw in fans. And for me, it's the Gold Coast Titans, mate.
Awesome, as Prones Vids, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I just want to say that's a good point CJ made actually about the wooden spoon side who gets it this year might miss our Magic Round next year. I believe that's actually a fair point. But for me, I'll do it like this. I'll do it like this. So looking back to 2019 to 2021 and on to 2022. Look at who's lost the most Magic Round games, like who has lost the most, and who's obviously won the most will obviously stay in, but who's struggled in Magic Round and by losing the amount of games they played in Magic Round. I reckon that they're the ones that are at risk of being moved out for this year and letting the Dolphins come in. So that's how I'll do it personally. But I do think it's going to be a New South Wales team, though, unfortunately.
Okay. Sam Revel, your thoughts?
I think the NRL at the very start of the year should have come out and said, yes, we know 17 teams are going to be in the competition in 2023. Magic Round is still going to be about next year. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the big announcement. The Wooden Spooners for 2022 will be the club that misses out on Magic Round. It doesn't mean that they're not allowed to travel up to Brisbane. They can still do some PR moves, some other, signing sessions with fans and the like, what have you as well. More of an opportunity to get amongst the fans more than anything. So take it as a positive, I guess. But no, I would have the Wooden Spooners for 2022 not be the club, or be the club to not participate in Magic Round in 23.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, look, for me, if I had it my way, I would have the Storm not playing, but that's just me. So anyway, next question. Question number 4. Who is your pick your player of the 2 Pro Enzo?
Play of the round from round 9. Yeah, I've got Pappenhausen for me. I think Pappenhausen
10.
was great again.
Round 10.
Round 10. So is this basically the play of the round we think it would be for round 10?
Yeah. Your prediction. Yeah, my bad. I should have been a bit more, specific.
Oh no, you're all right, bro. My prediction. Yeah, might sound a bit biased here, but I think if Amelia are going to win on Friday, I think Cherry Evans that will lead from up front and will be the guy who sort of just gets the recognition at the end of the game and having a really big one. So I think, especially coming up against Brisbane, it's a big forward pack with full of talented young kids there. So I think it's up to DCE to sort of get one over Reynolds as well, because that's a good matchup. So yeah, if we're to win, I think he'd be the guy that's going to get the man of the match, in my opinion. So I think that's going to reflect in him being player of the round.
Awesome as. CJ Moxley, over to you, man. Who is your player of the round for round 10?
Oh, for me, it's Cody Nicarima. No, for me, it's Jerome Hughes. I think he's in for a big game. He's going up against such a tough side to go on, Penrith Panthers. And obviously with all the drama that's come out about him from Mount Druitt stuff, I think he's just going to, play his natural game. I just have a weird feeling that he's going to put in an outstanding man of the match performance. So look out for Jerome Hughes on Saturday.
Awesome as. Round up, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm going to be a bit biased here too in saying this, but I think if we win on Saturday against the Titans, which I think we will, and I think we'll win pretty comfortably, I think Ben Hunt, because if you look at Ben Hunt this season, he's been the most consistent player. He's top 3 in the Daily M's, and he's one of the best halfbacks in the game, and I think he's pretty underrated compared to other halfbacks. You hear Cleary, you hear Hughes, Mitchell Moses, Daly Cherry Evans, but I feel like Ben Hunt is left out of the conversation a little bit. So, I think Ben Hunt will light up at his old home ground, and I think he'll have a game, and I think he'll be the player of the round this weekend. So, yeah, Ben Hunt.
Awesome as to you.
Trying to find a player of the round, you've got to think about some of the big matches that are happening this weekend. There's no bigger match happening this year then Melbourne versus Penrith in the Saturday night main event. And I'm tipping Penrith. Therefore, who do I think will win the best player on ground in the biggest game of the year thus far? I think you got to look to Isaiah Yeo for his leadership, for his hard carries up the middle, his link-up play with Cleary and Luai, even some centre lines that he can run as well. So Isaiah Yeo is having a brilliant 2022. And Penrith are any chance to win, Isaiah Yeo's got to put in a match of the round, a game of the round performance for a player. So I'm going to go Isaiah Yeo to have an absolute beauty. Hold the ball, mate. We just can't hear you at the moment. Your screen has frozen, mate.
Look, due to time constraints, this one's short. But look, thank you to the guys who have participated. Media sites, social media and stuff like that. But is there anything sort of? I guess I'll go one by one. But wrap up. Is there anything you want to say? Is there anything you want to say before we go?
Looking forward to this weekend. Thank you for inviting me on, Hold the Ball. I appreciate it a lot. So, yeah, thanks for inviting me on, and looking forward to this weekend. I'm pretty pumped, and go the Saints.
Awesome, man. CJ Moxley, over to you, man. Anything?
Yeah, awesome to make my debut on the Hold the Ball YouTube channel. Thanks for getting me on tonight, man. It was a great chat with all you lads. So thank you all, coming on, and thanks for having me on. It was a great chat. And
CJ Moxley, anything you want to say?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Awesome, as Sam Rivel, over to you, man. Any last?
Thank you.
No, Norris, thank you. Sam Rivel, over to you.
Thank you very much for having me on tonight, HTB. Thank you to everybody in the live chat for tuning in, sticking with us, and really nice to talk to you young gentlemen as well. Again, always a pleasure, bros. Yeah, everyone have a nice weekend, and adios.
Norris and Perns, over to you, bro. Any last words?
Yeah, just thank you, Hold the Ball. It was good to come on the second time for the Ball and All chats. Give me a good week of footy, so I'm looking forward to it. And thanks to other lads. It was a great discussion. So, yeah, thank you.
Awesome, as Norris. And again, thank you guys for yarning, and thank you guys for the chat. Sorry, I didn't post up any comments. I just got to get a new laptop, that's for sure. But look, thank you again, guys. I hope you guys enjoy Magic Round. I'm going to Queensland. I cannot wait. You guys will see my vlogs and stuff like that. But I'm going to make sure to be doing content whilst I'm there and all that jazz. But again, thank you all. Bless you all. Be well, be safe. Look after each other. In health. Take it easy. See you guys next time. Just remember, hold the ball. Thank you again, guys. Appreciate it.
I will.
Awesome. Thanks, Hold the Ball. Let's trot.
See you, man. Thank you.